Hello, Mark.
Hey, Gustavo, how are you?
Nice to have you here.
Yes, I'm very excited to be here in Monterrey.
And thank you for coming to give this insightful presentation about the tariffs. Everyone is worried about the tariffs, so we'll hear a lot of you. So before we go to the presentations, there are some questions that the audience has told us. So we would like to ask those questions. First of all, maybe not all of the audience is familiarized with ASCM.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if you can tell us what ASCM is and what's the value of approaching ASCM.
For sure. ASCM is the Association for Supply Chain Management. We were established back in 1957 with a grant from IBM. IBM decided to grant some of the key leaders within their supply chain organization. Just let's start with standardizing our language. What are our terms? What are our processes? And here we are today, all these years later. We represent just about 50,000 members globally. We are the world's largest nonprofit membership organization, as well as the biggest. So we support everyone from frontline employees all the way through individuals at the C-level, digital transformation efforts with our corporate partners, and then also workforce development for the individual folks within those firms. Yeah.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. And what are the products and services that ASCM offers to the market?
I think we're most known and probably most famous for our certifications, CPIM, CSCP, CLTD, and we just launched our CTSC, as well as for some emerging professionals. We have 6 certificate programs, which are fantastic. And then, as I mentioned before, we've really expanded our product and solution line into those entry-level workforce positions with our foundations product. So really allows our firms and our partners to address some of those key gaps in talent and skill development needed within a firm to react, as you mentioned, with tariffs and all the things that we're going to be talking about tonight. We really need to have a dynamic and agile workforce to deal with the resiliency issues that we face today now.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And how is ASCM driving innovation? Because we have to address global challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And the companies want to be prepared for those challenges.
Yeah.
So what ASCM is doing for that?
We're doing a lot of work around our assessment product profile. So whether it's a maturity assessment, working with some of those companies and organizations to identify where their supply chain maturity is today in relation to where they'd like it to be. So how do we really address those needs? Same thing with the talent assessment as well. So working with corporate leaders to say, where can we make strategic investments with your workforce, your systems, to increase that maturity and make sure that the companies are ready to transform into a 21st century supply chain that can be agile and resilient to what we're seeing today.
And does that have a cost for customers?
No, actually it doesn't. So the assessment pieces right now, there's no charge because what we really want to do is partner with some of our global representatives like ABCI today. We're going to speak about, we want to arm you as our local partner here in Monterrey, our Premier League partner, to be able to go out into that workforce here in Monterrey region and address those needs that they see today.
Okay. How does that ASCM talent maturity assessment or maturity assessment fit with the SCORE model?
Well, it's all driven by the SCORE model. So our globally recognized SCORE, that's SCORE DS model, is adopted by about 6,000 global companies. And all of our talent assessment as well as maturity assessment really does analyze, based off of that SCORE framework, how do those key metrics, those key people, those key processes really affect the supply chain. So it is all ingrained starting with that SCORE model, and then we extrapolate that out, whether we're talking about the maturity or the talent. So then the outcome for those corporations can say, wow, we really are gapped, or rather our workforce is gapped in a particular skill set or some metric that they're trying to increase that can drive either efficiencies, cost savings, maybe it's a faster delivery to their customers, any of those types of activities.
Excellent. And the audience is worried about the major trends that we have in the supply chain. Mm-hmm. So there are, the environment is very dynamic.
Yeah.
It's constantly changing.
Yeah.
So obviously ASM has to be changing to fit that fast developing supply chain.
Yes, it does.
So what do you think are the most important trends and how is ASCM addressing them?
Technology is one of the number one. So whether it's AI, artificial intelligence, it could be Internet of Things, blockchain, advanced data analytics, data. Everyone seems to say that's the new gold or the new oil these days. But on top of that, really, it's about resilience. So whether it was the pandemic from 5 or 6 years ago, it could be a cargo ship that's stuck in the Suez Canal, Right now we're dealing with tariffs and what are those impacts? Tariffs are now off, they're paused, they could be back on. So the only thing we seem to be seeing right now is the certainty of uncertainty. So really, how do we address that? At the core of ASCM is really the concepts and the key principles of a resilient supply chain. So what we do is we go into those firms and address those professionals to say, how can we arm you with the skill sets that are needed to respond to those very disruptive techniques? So the disruption is going to be consistent. It's a matter of how we respond to that with a resilient supply chain.
Yeah, variability is here to stay.
Yes, it is.
Variability of demand, variability of supply. We say we live in a VUCA world.
Yes, we do.
Volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous.
I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, Gustavo.
Yeah. So it's difficult to adjust when you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Precisely. But having a well-informed, well-trained workforce will help you be resilient to those needs.
Okay. So we have to build a supply chain ready for change, right?
Ready for anything.
All right. And one other thing that a lot of people is asking is about artificial intelligence. So because they will say, okay, I have this artificial intelligence product. Everybody's talking about artificial intelligence.
Yep.
So, and obviously this will change the supply chain in some ways.
Yes, sir.
But how do you select what AI initiatives you should do? Is ASCM prepared to adjust for that AI initiatives?
We are. So through various trainings and offerings that ASCM does bring to the market, really the core principles there are the humans checking the AI at this point. We even met with some of your local employers through the last couple of days here while we've been in Monterrey, and that's been the feedback. AI is adding onto the skill sets that their employees already have. So whether it's a fast report pull, identifying different analytic tools that make supply chain professionals more informed to make better strategic decisions, that's really where we're seeing AI jump into the place. It's a force multiplier for individuals who are highly skilled in the supply chain field. We haven't seen much around, is AI going to take my job? The only people that should be really thinking about that are those who don't want to engage with AI. It's going to be a human being who's using AI is going to take your job if you're not aware of that piece. That's really what we start to see.
Yeah, it's not replacing your job.
No, it's adding on.
You're going to be replaced if you don't use it, right?
Precisely.
All right.
Yep.
Mark, thank you very much for being in Monterrey.
For sure.
We love your visit, and also Jason's visit.
Yep.
And we always welcome in Monterrey.
Yes, thank you, Gustavo. Well, hey, really appreciate the time today and welcoming us here to Monterrey. So appreciate it. Yeah.
Bye-bye.